Hello all, welcome to the channel. I hope you are doing well. Today's video is an important topic. Like every day when we sit in an interview, we are asked like what is the difference between MVC and MVVM. This is the core topic we need to understand, and I have also watched many of the videos and I checked many of the documents, articles and everything, but never find a perfect video or a article that explain word to word like what exactly is the difference, like where we have to find the difference. So in this video we will be looking upon the main difference that we have. So if we talk about the basic architecture, so as you know, these are the full forms. M in both stands for model and the V stands for view in both. The only difference that comes is in the controller and the view model working. So let's first start with the MVC. In what happens in MVC? So this is your model. Okay, so here is your model and here is your controller. Okay, so this is your controller for the time being, and then here is your view. Okay, so this view, if you are talking in Swift UI or if you're talking in UI kit in any manner, this view is basically, you can say, your storyboard. Okay, so or it could be your XIB file. Okay, so you can make these as the view. So what happens is, let's say the user does any interaction over the view or I pressed any button. So then what will happen, this controller, the view will say to the controller, hey, something has been pressed. Okay, so you just check like what has been pressed. Now here it will check, okay, so my button has been pressed. So what will happen when the button is being pressed, it sees whatever the action over this controller is having over that button. If there is, let's say, update in the model, so it will go to the model and say, hey, update yourself. Now what will happen, the model will update itself. Once it is updated, it will return its final value, like after updation what is the new value of the model. Now controller will here come and it will see like after this any changes, does my view have to make any changes or is it fine, or I have to update my view. So now the controller have to check, okay, let's say I have to update the view, then let it be. So let's say for the time being I have a model. Okay, and here is a username, and in this model I have a username that needs to be updated. So depending upon the condition, let's say the condition is that the username, whatever condition we have, let's say the condition says the username should be greater than 5 letters. Okay, so we have the length check over here. So what will happen, let's say the user in the text field enters the name. Let's say I enter like code as my name. So what will happen, as soon as I enter something, view will say, hey controller, listen, something is published on my view. Okay, someone is making changes, and the controller will see, okay, there is a text field and the word has been written as code. Now controller has a business logic that has been written in it, and the business logic says that whatever the length of this text field is, this is the length of my text field, we have to check if its count is greater than 5, then only we have to make the changes in the model, then only we have to change the model, we have to add the or append the username. Okay, so now what controller is doing, controller is doing two things. First of all, it is, let's say, it is checking the business logic. Okay, and the second thing it is doing, it is updating the view. Okay, it is updating the view. How, let's say if the value I have given is, let's say, code 1, so now the length of the string is 5. As soon as the length of the string is 5, now the controller will say, hey model, update yourself. Okay, so basically it will ask the model to update yourself, and now the username would be equals to, let's say, code 1. Now the username is equals to code 1. Again model will give its updated value to the controller. Here the controller have to see what is the second thing, like after the business logic has been written, is there anything I have to update in the view. So let's say we have in this view that was a text field and a label. There is a label that needs to be updated with the username. So now the controller have to tell the view, hey view, I have updated my model, now please go and update yourself, update your label. So here you can see what my model is doing. My model is doing many jobs. First of all, here my controller is doing two jobs. First of all, it is directly contacting with the view. It is asking the view when to refresh itself and when to re-render itself or when to update the values. And secondly, it is handling all the business logic of my app. Okay, so controller is doing two things. It is handling the business logic as well as that it is talking to the view. and whatever model it has to update, it is doing that. So business logic, like it is whatever the business logic and the model changes that has to be done. Here the controller is doing a very tight job. Okay, so here in business logic, let's say you are doing many things, you are making your view also here and you are writing a view business, so the file is increasing in its length and the complexity is also base increases. So this is your MVC. Okay, now we will take the same case and we will see what will happen in the view model. Okay, so let's go down and let me go ahead with the view model. Okay, so let's go over here. So what will happen? Let's say here again I have a model. Okay, so I will go ahead and make it for the view model here. In case here is my view model and here is my view. Simple. So first let's understand the working, how they are being connected. Here anything happens in the view, let's say in your storyboard or in an XIB file, it will tell the view model, okay, hey view model, some of things are being changed. You can see, so this view model is been connected to, let's say, any XIB or let's say any storyboard, so any file it could be connected here. Okay, so what will happen, it has the connections and it is telling how you can re-render. So as soon as the values are coming in this view, you have the view model. Let's say you have to check, like you have the label, you have a text field over here. Okay, and you are telling like the count of the text field length should be greater than 5. So whatever value you got in your text field, view will ask the view model, because here is the business logic now. Okay, not in the controller or in the view. Basically here is the business logic. We will ask, we will, whatever text field value we got, we will tell it to the view model, hey, I have got some values, could you please check, like do are these values valid or not. So here the view model will check whatever the business logic says, like the value should be greater than 5. Here it will check and it will tell, the view model will tell only, no, the values are not valid, let it be. So here the view, when the values are not valid, the view will see, okay, when my values are not valid, what I have to do with the view. So it will say like, okay, I do not have to make the model, or I have to not make the label basically. But let's say if I have a value that says, like say I have written world in the text field, so what will happen, I will give it to the view model will check with my business logic, like the value is greater than 5, yeah, the value is greater than 5. Now it will update the model. So let's say the model username would be now world. So what will happen, the values have been updated, model will say, hey, I have updated myself. Now view model will also say, hey, your logic was correct, business logic is correct, now you can re-render the view. As soon as we will get, like let's say the value is true, okay, we have a function that returns, like let's say is valid. So here it will return the value, like is it valid. So as soon as the value is valid in the view, we can show something like whatever label we have, or in the storyboard we have, let's say a progress bar, let's say tick, and whatever we have. So what happens here, if we compare to the MVC over, main thing is view model is now only responsible for the business logic here. Okay, only business logic is being dependent over this layer, one thing. And in view is only dependent for the view re-rendering, like how I have to display my view, how I have to update my view, what I have to do with the view. So here you can see no business logic are being handled, but here in the controller you saw the business logics of the view to refresh and the business logic of the entire app were written in the single controller class. That is the problem. But here you see, like view knows, like when I have to update myself, when I have to render myself, that are taken care in the view. Okay, and here view model is solely responsible for the business logic and nothing else. Business logic is only the part of it. So here what we have a clarity. How clarity we have the basic clarity of the logics, like logics are written in different files, so we do not have to jumble in the views, we do not have to struggle the view file and see, hey, where is my logic, where is my logic. No, things are pretty clear. So in large scale applications, in the production applications that have a big like scale, where we have complex UIs, we have complex business logics, it's better to go with MVVM. Why? Because we have a different separate logic class view model that will handle my business logics. So things are very easy here. But If you have a small app, the users are not more, the app complexity is less, and the views are less complex, less business logic, then you can use MVC, because here in the controller only you can see how the app is getting updated, and in the business models you can write in the controller itself. So this is the basic difference. So what is the basic advantage of MVC? If you are asked in an interview, it is basically here, the as in the MVC we saw that the controller was responsible for the business logic as well as for the UI, for the view re-rendering and view update. But as compared to the view model is only responsible for business logic, and the view is for re-rendering only. So here we get the difference over the MVC. So it's the cut above. So just whatever I have told you, I have wrote down in a Xcode project, one in MVC and one in MVVM, so that at least you have a glimpse how exactly what I said is working. So let's go ahead, and this is my basically, let's go with the first MVC. So this is my MVC project. What I have done, I have made one text field, and this is my label, and whatever name I will enter, that will become would be displayed here. A simple basic logic. So this storyboard is basically my view. Okay, this is my view, and this is my controller. As you can see, this is my controller. This controller is basically, as you can see, it is having the UIs in it. Okay, and we have the basic model in it because the controller talks to the model, and then we are updating the label. So what will happen, basically what I'm doing, as soon as I will click on the save button, I'm checking like if the text field is not empty, it is having any text, we will update the text field. We will update whatever name was written into the model. So here we are, the controller is talking to the model to go and update yourself. So here we can say the model is been updating. Simple. Okay, the model has been updated, and once the model has been updated, what I'm saying, okay, now model has been updated, great. So now please update my label. Okay, so we can put this over here. So what I'm doing now the controller is asking the view to, it's talking to the view is okay, and it is talking to the view, hey, go ahead and update yourself, I have done the work. So you can see the controller is talking to the model also, the controller is talking to the view also. Okay, so now the label is in updated. So what we are doing, I am what, see, in basic, just to show some delay, like hey, there's an API call, I have given some sort of a taste or a flavor like that. What I have done, I have done a little bit a sleep of 3 seconds, and then I'm just updating my name. So I'm just checking if the model is not empty and the model name is already, there is no user present, then we can print the model name. So this is what basically we can say, this is my business logic. I'm writing my business logic over here. What is my business logic that is being said over here? Like I will update the label, like this hello label, to the username if the username is already not empty. Here in this case the model is already empty, so what we are doing, we are updating the value. Okay, but if it would have not been empty, we won't be able to update the value. So this is what we are doing. So this is my business logic. So you can see the controller is having the business logic written over here itself. So the model is being updated in the controller, it is talking to the view as well, and secondly the business logics are also written in the controller itself. Okay, so these three things that I was telling you in the MVC, they are being done. Simple. Okay, so if you want, you can, we can just make these labels, like whatever we have, we can people usually put them in the group. So what we do, like I will show you how we have put. So we can have this as the controller. Okay, so as we were talking, this is our controller, and we will put the values over here so that we have the, and this is what our view. So we can right click over there directly, and then we can also put it in the file over here into the group here like this, and then we can put it as view, and we can put just in order so that our folder structure is done properly. And here whatever model we have, we can put it here. This is a model. So as you can see, now my folder structure also makes it clear, like we are using MVC. So here the things are pretty clear to us. Now let's run this. I will just show you how this exactly is looking, and then we will move to the MVVM. So here is my project has been succeeded, and let's see. So here is my project, and we will see This is the splash screen that is going on. I have not added the splash screen as of now, so let's wait for it to attach, and once it is running we will get our things over here. So let's say I have the username, let's say I have code effectively. So as soon as I will save, we will have a 3 seconds API call. I have given a gap, and then you can see we have the value over here. So this is what I was talking about. So the up value and the label is been updated over here. This is the best thing we can have. Okay, so now we will have the MVVM. So let's go ahead and see the flavor of MVVM. So in the MVVM, what we are doing, we will see this is the view controller we have made. Okay, so this is a simple view controller that we can say this is our view. Okay, this is our simple view that we are making over here. Okay, so my view is being made, and I will just show you the corresponding file. In order to see the corresponding file, what we have to do, we have to click on the main view controller using the option key. So here we have the opening. So here you can see this is my view. Here in my view, I have made a label, user label, and user text field, and simple a text field and a save button. Okay, so these are the things that I have been making. So now here what happens, here I am checking if there is text field is not empty, then I am asking my view model to see whatever logic, business logic you have in your system or in your app, just see what I have to do. And what we are going, so we are going to the view model. Okay, view model, got it, simple. So in the view model, now you see view model is now been talking to the model. Here is the cut difference. As I told you, in the controller was talking to the model and to the view. Here view model is talking to the model, and view model is been talking to the view. So here in the view model we have the model, and here we have the function like update label. So this is my basic business logic that I am been writing here. So this is my business logic that I have written, like update the label. So what I am doing here in the label, just in order to give you a flavor of the API call, what I have done this 3-second sleep of my thread. So then what I'm doing, I'm just adding hello and the username. Simple thing that I was doing in the previous MVC pattern also. So here I can tell you, like here my model is talking with view model. So, and here is my business logic. Okay, so let's say there was an API call failure. So what I gave you a taste, like, okay, here in the callback we do not got any name for the user. In the database we were not able to save the name for the user, and we return the error. Simple. So if there would be have an error, then view model will return us the error. If their things are successful, view model will return us no error, and we will get the name. So what I have done, whatever string we have hello, I am just appending the username to it. Simple thing. So now as soon as I will get the success, I will see this callback, and in this callback I will get the name and the error. I will check if my error is not nil, then on the main thread I will update my view. So here what I am doing, this is my label, and my label is been updated. Okay, so this label I am updating with the latest name that we have. Simple thing. So here what we are seeing like view is talking to view model. As you can see, I have made the reference of my view model. So here my view is been talking to my view model, and then simply whatever view model tells me, like let's say I have asked my view model, hey view model, please update my label, and then my view model is telling the view again back, okay, the label here it is telling, after making the calls in the database and whatever it has done, it is telling, hey, I have done the updates, now you check, this is the name and this is the error. So we will check if there is no error in the view, we can update the label name. Simple thing. So as you can see, this is the main difference. In the controller class, if it would have been the MVC, we would have written, we won't be having any view model over here. The entire view model logic we have to copy and put it over here, because there is no business logic to be written in the MVC, in the view model, because we write everything in the controller itself. So let's run this also, and let's see is it working or not. So it will also work. So here is my app, and let's say I write my name, and let's save it. So you can see after 3 seconds we will get the name that says hello Prachi. So because there was no error, had it been an error, we would have done in a different manner, like there we would have shown some toast message or a UI. So I think now you would have got the main difference how MVVM and MVC works. So basically the main difference is in MVVM we are making a view model and the view model is publishing itself. Here it is publishing its value basically. If it would have been Swift UI, we would have been using observable framework, like basically in order to check is the view model has is having any value changes in it. If it is observing any value, view model got any value changes in the model, oh yes, then it would have been values been updated over here. So here the values would have been updated. We would have made a view model of observable type that I was making over here. So I was first planning to make it in Swift UI, then I made it in UI kit just in order to show the flavors. So here if it would have been Swift UI, we would have made a observable, and in the main controller like here we would be having Swift UI, and we would be checking like here dot update model, and we would have been checking if the view model dot username is not empty, then we would have shown the label. So I think you got a glimpse like how MVC and MVVM are different from each other. The main story lies between the controllers. Like view model is having the business and the controller is not having the business. It is logically taking about the view also. So I hope you like this video. The link of these both the codes are being given in the description box of this video. You can go ahead and check out this code, as well as if you have any feedback, feel free to connect with me in the comment sections of this video. Good day.